Hey, and welcome to this morning's Dreamfuel Breathwork and Visualization session designed to boost high-speed decision-making. I'm Alex, and I'll be your guide this morning. By the end of this session, most people will feel noticeably calmer, clearer, and more grounded. The kind of steady confidence that allows you to move through pressure with presence. In this session, we're preparing your mind for high-speed decision-making using the metaphor of a Formula One race. So find your space where you can fully relax, either seated or lying down. And for our first phase, we'll get into our tempo breathing, in and out through the nose to begin. In for 4, out for 6, in 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it going at that same tempo as everything begins to narrow. The outside world softens, the noise of the day fades to the edges. All remains is focus. A sense that something important is about to begin. You're in the paddock, moments before the biggest race of your life. The air's warm, but not soft. It carries heat rising from the tarmac, the sharp scent of fuel, the faint bitterness of scorched rubber, the metallic edge of machinery pushed to its limits. Around you, the garage is alive with movement, but nothing is frantic. Everything is purposeful. Every mechanic knows exactly where to be. Every set of hands is dialed in. Tire blankets are being pulled free. Data streams across glowing screens. Radios crackle. Someone jogs past with intent. Tools click. Carbon fiber catches the sunlight. Your car sits just ahead of you, low and sculpted, impossibly precise. Black rubber, glossy paint, heat haze shimmering above the rear of it. It looks less like a machine and more like a weapon. You step toward it. You can feel the weight of the suit against your skin, the snugness of the fireproof layers, the fitted grip of your gloves as you flex your fingers. Your boots connect with the ground differently now, more deliberate, more present. Each step toward the car sharpens you. This isn't ordinary life. This is the place where everything gets tested. A crew member adjusts the strap at your shoulder. Another gives you a final nod. There's no need for words now. Too much has already been built for words to matter. The preparation is done. The hours, the repetition, the mistakes corrected behind closed doors, the countless laps, the analysis, the muscle memory, the invisible work. It's all here with you now. You lift the helmet. It's smooth in your hands, cool at first, then familiar. You slide it on, and the world changes immediately. Sound compresses. The atmosphere tightens. Your breath becomes louder inside the shell. Your own presence becomes undeniable. You lower yourself into the cockpit. The fit is exact. There's nothing to lose, nothing wasted. Your back settles into the seat, molded perfectly to your body. Hips locked in, legs extended, shoulders contained. Hands come to the steering wheel. Textured grips, rubberized edges, buttons and toggles under your thumbs, shifting lights waiting to flare. You rest your boots lightly on the pedals. The whole car feels awake beneath you. Nothing moving, but ready. Ready in the way a caged animal is ready. Ready in the way a storm is ready. Then the engine turns over. The vibration rises through the chassis and into your bones. It's not just sound, it's force. The entire machine hums with contained violence. The smell of hot oil thickens. The rear of the car shudders faintly. Your chest feels the pulse of it. A voice comes through the radio. Calm, clear, familiar. Trust your preparation. Trust the car. Build the race. You take it in. Ahead of you, the grid stretches forward under the bright open sky, cars lined up in staggered formation, each one carrying someone else's ambition, someone else's hunger, someone else's years of work. To your side is your fiercest rival, close enough to feel as much as see, but your gaze stays forward. You're not here to measure yourself against them. You're here to become fully yourself. The formation lap is over. The cars settle into position. The crowd is a living wall around the circuit. Flags, motion, expectation. But from inside the helmet, it all feels far away now. Distant. Muffled. Like another world. All that exists is the straight ahead. The lights above the track illuminate. One red light. Then another. Then another. Then another. Then another. 5 red lights suspended in the air. Everything inside you becomes still. This is the threshold. The place where pressure and possibility occupy the exact same space. Hold here for a moment. Feel the anticipation in your body. Feel the readiness in your hands. Feel how much power can exist inside stillness. And we'll start our first round of the somatic breath. 2 in, 2 out, all through the straw as powerfully as you can. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. In, out, out. 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 Keep it going as big a breath as you can take, filling the lungs up as much as possible on the inhale, forcing all of the air out on the exhale. Keep it going. The lights go out, and everything explodes. You launch. The throttle drops. The rear tires bite. The whole car surges forward with brutal force, pinning you into the seat as the world snaps into speed. Engines scream. Violent acceleration, tiny vibrations through the steering column. Cars converging from both sides, inches separating control from contact. The start is chaos, but you're not chaotic. Your eyes are wide and calm. Your hands are alive. Your awareness expands. You surge off the line cleanly. Your front wing inches toward the car ahead. The first corner arrives almost instantly, and the field compresses into a dangerous mass of steel, heat, ego, and split-second decisions. You stay committed. Not reckless. Committed. You brake late. Feel the pressure of deceleration slam through your chest and guide the car toward the apex with absolute conviction. Tires scream. The smell of rubber thickens. Someone dives down the inside. Another gets squeezed on exit. A flash of color in your peripheral vision, the staccato vibration of curbs under the wheels, the force of the steering wheel loading through your forearms. You hold your line. The car sticks. And as you exit the corner, you're still there. Still clean, still composed, still right in the fight. Now the track begins to stretch open. Speed builds fast. The corners start to flow together. You move through them not as separate events, but as one long conversation between instinct and control. A high-speed left. A sweeping right. A heavy braking zone where the harness cuts into your shoulders. The wheel pulses in your hands as the tires search for grip. You can feel every change in texture beneath you. The smooth bites of racing line asphalt, the harsher chatter of painted curb, the subtle instability as you ride close to the edge. This is no longer about surviving the start. This is about settling into mastery. Your breath finds a rhythm inside the intensity. Your jaw softens. Your shoulders drop by 1 degree, enough to make a difference, enough to create space inside the speed. The car ahead leaves the faintest opportunity in Sector 2. Not an obvious one, a small hesitation. A slightly compromised exit. You notice it instantly. You close the gap through the next sequence, the engine climbing higher, the wind noise sharpening around the cockpit. The grandstands blur into streaks of color and sound. Heat bakes off the track. The circuit feels enormous and intimate at once. Then the radio. Push now. You do. You press deeper. Braver on entry, cleaner on exit. You trust the front end. Trust the rear traction. Trust the timing. You're not overdriving, you are inhabiting the limit. There's a difference. One is desperation, the other is fluency. The first stint becomes a state of flow. Lap after lap, you and the car become less separate. Down the straight, your head held against the rush of air and speed. Into the braking zone, every muscle braced, yet supple. Through the middle of the corner, that extraordinary thin line between grip and loss. Then power again, immediate, decisive, relentless. A call comes through. Box this lap. You peel into pit lane, speed dropping abruptly, the world changing tempo in an instant. The surface feels different here. Smoother, flatter, more controlled. You hit the limiter. The engine tone changes, pit boards flash past. Crew members stand ready like a practice ritual. You stop exactly on your marks. The car jolts upward. Tires off, tires on, guns snapping, hands moving faster than thought. The smell of hot rubber is thick enough to taste. The front jack drops. Release. You fire back onto the track, back into velocity, back into the test. And now there's more clarity than before, not less, because the speed is no longer overwhelming you. It's revealing you. We'll take our first hold in 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale through the straw, fill up the lungs as much as you can, all the way to the top. And hold your breath. Where in your life are you hesitating when full commitment would unlock momentum? And we'll release the breath in 3, 2, 1. Let it go with a sigh out the mouth. Full release, full exhale. Let it go. Just ground yourself with the breath. And then we'll get into round 3. 1 second in through the belly, 1 second in through the chest, and then a 2-second exhale. And it's all as powerfully as you can through the straw. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Belly, chest, exhale. 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 Keep it going. A few laps later, the light changes. What was bright and sharp becomes dimmer. The horizon darkens. The wind shifts. You notice it before the team says anything, a different pressure in the air. The strange coolness brushes across exposed skin at your neck. Then the first drop hits the visor. Then another. Then many. Full rain. At first it's scattered, almost manageable. Then suddenly the sky opens and the track transforms beneath you. Water streaks across the visor. Spray erupts from the cars ahead in dense white plumes. The racing line disappears beneath a sheen of reflective danger. Grip vanishes in places it was solid a moment ago. The car moves underneath you differently now. Lighter, more nervous, less forgiving. You don't resist that reality, you adapt to it. Your inputs become smoother, more exact. Less wasted movement in the wheel. Gentler throttle pickup. Earlier braking, more patience at turning. Everything asks more of you now, not because it's louder, but because it is less certain. The track is no longer something you attack, it's something you read. Water beads and trails across your visor in silver ribbons. The engine note echoes differently in the wet air. The tires hiss against the soaked surface. You can smell the change too. Less burnt rubber now. More water on hot asphalt, steam and oil and rain mixing into something electric. The yellow flag appears ahead. There's debris near the edge of the circuit. You stay calm. No sudden movements, no ego, no forcing, just attention and control. The car ahead twitches, exiting a corner, almost gone. Another runs wide onto the painted runoff and barely recovers. The field is being tested now in a different way. Raw speed matters less. Emotional discipline matters more. A voice comes through the radio. Box for wets, box snack. You thread through the standing water into the pit lane again. The crew is ready. Their visors shine with droplets under the lights. Rain spatters off the halo. Wet tires go on. The stop is clean, efficient, no panic. You launch back into the storm. Now the car feels different again, heavier in the contact patch, more stable, more planted in the deep water, but the conditions are still unforgiving. Visibility comes and goes. Corners appear half hidden behind spray. Every lap asks the same question in a new form. Can you stay composed when the environment stops cooperating? And every lap, your answer is yes. Not because it's comfortable, because you're becoming the kind of person who does not need comfort in order to perform. The storm continues, but something inside you gets quieter, deeper, more anchored. You stop wishing for better conditions. You stop arguing with what is. You drive what is here. And in doing that, your confidence changes shape. It becomes less fragile, less dependent, less theatrical. This is not the confidence of domination. This is the confidence of steadiness. You begin passing people who cannot regulate themselves in the rain. They brake too late. They overcorrect. They panic under reduced certainty. You do none of that. You stay with the car. Stay with the road. Stay with the next decision and the next one and the next. And slowly, beautifully, the storm becomes a separator, not a threat, a filter. We'll take our next hold in 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale through the straw, fill up the lungs one more time, all the way up, and hold the breath. How do you respond when conditions become uncertain? And what would it look like to stay steady instead of reactive? And we'll release the breath in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go with a sigh out the mouth. Full release, full exhale. Just ground yourself with the breath. We've got one more intense breathing round. 3 seconds in through the straw, and then 3 seconds open mouth exhale. In 3, 2, 1. In, out, out, out. In, out, out, out. In, out, out, out. In, out, out, out. Keep it going, still expanding the belly as much as you can on the inhale, and then it collapse fully on the exhale. Keep it going. As quickly as it came, the rain begins to ease. The clouds start to break apart. A line of pale sunlight cuts across one sector of the track. Steam rises from the surface where heat returns. The racing line starts to reappear, dark and drying in patches. The radio crackles again. Track is drying, box now, final stint. You know what that means. This is it. You dive into pit lane one last time. The stop is perfect. Dry tires on, the car released. And when you rejoin, the sensation is immediate. More bite, more speed, more direct response. The car is alive again in a new way. Sharper, hungrier, ready to be unleashed. You're in second. The leader is ahead, not far. The gap is real, but so is your momentum. You settle in for the final push. Every corner matters now. Every exit, every meter of brake release, every choice to commit rather than hesitate. The tires come in. Grip improves lap by lap. The car dances on that edge of absolute performance, and you meet it with everything you have. This is where fatigue would normally make you smaller. But you do not get smaller here. You expand. You can feel the strain on your body now, forearms loaded, core braced, neck working against relentless force. But there is a deeper current running beneath the exertion. Something clean, something fierce, a refusal to hold back. The leader grows larger ahead. You can see the tiny adjustments they're making through high-speed sections. You can sense when they're protecting, when they're unsure, when the pressure is beginning to reach them. You do not rush. You build. You stalk. You stay patient enough to be dangerous. The lap count ticks down. 5 to go. Then 4. DRS opens on the straight. The rear wing changes angle. The car surges. The wind batters the helmet. The engine screams at a higher pitch. You pull closer. Not enough yet. 3 laps. You're in the dirty air now. Close enough to feel the turbulence robbing the front end of precision. The car squirms slightly through a medium-speed sequence. You correct without overcorrecting. Your rival defends into the next heavy braking zone. You show the nose. Let them know you're there. 2 laps. This is no longer just physical, this is psychological. Pressure transmitted through presence, through inevitability, through your refusal to disappear. Then the final lap. You cross the line and everything becomes more vivid. The curbs brighter, the braking boards clearer, the engine note more immediate. Time seems to widen and sharpen all at once. You get a stronger exit out of the penultimate corner before the long straight. DRS. Slipstream. You close. The gap shrinks from a car length to half a car length to nearly nothing. Side by side now. Wheels almost aligned. Both cars surging toward the final braking zone with the race hanging in the air between you. This is the moment that decides everything. You brake later. Not wildly, not desperately, just later. Because you trust. Trust the grip, trust the practice, trust the instincts you built long before this lap ever arrived. You rotate the car, clip the apex, straighten earlier, better exit. And now the final straight opens, the engines roar, the track rushes beneath you, the checkered flag waits ahead, and you're clear. You cross the line first. Victory. Not luck, not relief, victory. And we'll take our final hold in 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale through the straw, fill up the lungs, and hold the breath. Where is the moment right now that requires you to trust yourself fully and go all in? And we'll release the breath one final time in 3, 2, 1, and let it go with a sigh out the mouth. Full exhale, full release. Let it go. And we'll just come back to our pace breathing in through the nose for 4, out through the nose for 6, in 3, 2, 1, in for 4, 3, 2, 1, out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in for 4, 3, 2, 1, out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it going. The cool down lap begins. Everything that was compressed now begins to open. You ease off the intensity, but the body is still alive with it. The pulse in your throat, the heat in your hands, the fading vibration through the seat. The aftertaste of adrenaline metallic at the back of your mouth. The circuit looks different now. less like a battlefield, more like a place that revealed something true. You guide the car back toward the pits. Fans are on their feet, flags wave wildly. Team members lean over the wall. You can feel the energy of it through the cocoon of the cockpit. It reaches you as vibration before it reaches you as sound. You pull into the Parc Fermé and the car finally stops. Stillness. Real stillness. Your hands release the wheel. You undo the belts one by one. They fall away from your body. You remove your gloves. Cool air touches your fingers. You lift the helmet off and the world rushes back in. Louder, brighter, wider. The smell of rubber, fuel, champagne, heat, damp fabric, skin, celebration. Voices all around you, hands on your shoulders, smiles and shouts. The crew swarming in, unable to contain the joy of what just happened. You climb out. Your legs are heavy for a moment as they remember gravity. The ground feels strangely stable beneath your boots after so much speed. A mechanic grabs you in a hug. Another slaps your back. Someone's laughing. Someone else is nearly crying. The trophy glints nearby, cold and reflective under the light. You step onto the podium. Your anthem plays. Champagne sprays in bright arcs, cold against your suit, sharp on your lips, fizzing in the air. The crowd is a wall of sand now. Cameras flash. Your team below looks up at you with that expression that only comes when a shared dream has become real. Later, after the ceremony, after the noise, after the interviews and the flashes and the celebration, you find a quieter place behind the paddock. Just you. A chair, a low wall, evening air beginning to cool the track. The smell of race fuel fading into night. The noise of celebration still present in the distance, but softened now, no longer demanding anything from you. You sit, and you feel it all. Not just the win, the whole thing. The pressure before the lights, the violence of the launch, the composure through uncertainty, the steadiness in the storm, the final decision to go fully. You let yourself feel the deeper truth of it. You didn't become capable out there today. You revealed the capability that had already been built. You did not become calm because conditions got easier. You stayed calm while conditions got harder. You did not wait for certainty. You created clarity inside motion. And now, sitting here in the cooling air, heart still settling, skin still carrying traces of sweat and champagne and speed, you recognize that the track gave you something much bigger than a result. It gave you evidence. Evidence of who you are when it matters. A leader under pressure. A decision maker at speed. A person who can stay precise in chaos. A person who can adapt without collapsing. A person who can trust deeply enough to go all in. Stay with that for a moment. Let the noise keep fading. Let the lesson remain. And as you sit there behind the paddock, the last of the lights stretching low across the circuit, you understand something simple and powerful. The greatest win was never just crossing the line first. It was becoming someone you can trust at 200 miles an hour.